wasn't you. We'll open this meeting Wednesday, January 10th, 2024 at 2:05, and would entertain a motion to go into a public hearing.
So moved.
Seconded. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Dose?
Yes.
Commissioner Zimmer?
Here.
So we are going into a public hearing. I'll just explain the procedures and the rules here. For the agenda, we'll have P&Z explain what's before us with a staff report. We'll have opportunity for supporters or opponents. We'll have opportunity for questions, final comments by the staff, and then we'll close the hearing and bring it to a vote. If we have anybody that wants to speak, we need you to sign up, as I'd already mentioned, and you're not allowed to speak until you're recognized. This is all by Idaho code. We have to do this. Please don't interrupt any speakers. And if you have any evidence to submit, we need that done with 4 copies. And we would ask that everybody treat whoever's speaking in a respectful manner, even if it is Dan Martinson. Yeah, let's add that for the record. Okay. With that being said, for the agenda, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Martinson, to give us the staff report.
Thank you. Dan Martinson, Administrator, for the record. This is case number MS 162-23 in the matter of an application of Rodney Wolf and Ralph and Annette Brandvold, request for a 3-lot minor subdivision in the natural resource zone. As a matter of course of proceedings, a pre-application meeting between the applicant and planning staff occurred on or about June 30th of 23. On September 22nd of 23, a complete subdivision application was submitted to the planning department. This application is being processed as required under Shoshone County Code Title 10 Subdivision Regulations. Based on the completed application, agency response information, the planning administration published in the Shoshone News Press a 30-day notice of public comment on this application. The comment period was established from October 17th of 23 to November 17th of 23. On October 13th, 23, the notice was sent to adjacent property owners within 300 feet of the subject property via U.S. Postal Service. And on October 14th, 23, the site was posted with a physical notice. A public meeting was scheduled before the Board of County Commissioners on January 10th, 24 in the Commissioners Conference Room. Here we are today. If we continue, there's a space for additional proceedings. The findings of fact in this case are that the applicant property is owned by Rodney Wolf of St. Mary's and Ralph and Annette Brandvold of Dalton Gardens. The proposal is applicant is requesting a minor subdivision for the creation of 3 lots. The site is located at 16673 South St. Joe River Road, approximately 17 miles up on the north side of the road. The site is described as a portion of Section 24, Township 46 North, Range 01 East of Shoshone County. Parent parcel number is 46 North 01 East 01E 24 4800. Zoning in this area is natural resource. The surrounding zoning is natural resource. The surrounding uses are mostly rural residential, timberland, and recreational. The proposed lot sizes are the parent parcel is approximately 20.081 acres. The proposed subdivision will be comprised of 3 lots, size approximately 2.0 acres. These got amended, right?
Yes.
These numbers? Okay.
Yes, sir.
There was an initial one, and then we amended them. So, approximately 2 acres. Lot 1 is 9. Sorry, I'll reread that. 3 lots. Size is approximately 2 acres. Lot 1, 9.5 acres. Lot 2, and 8.96 acres for Lot 3. Shoshone County Subdivision Ordinance requires that the minimum lot size for a minor subdivision is 2.0 acres. All proposed lots meet this requirement. On a general note, the minimum lot size in that zone is 1/5 of an acre, so 7,700 square feet. So this well exceeds even the minimum lot size for the zone. Existing structures, Lot 1 and 3 are vacant. Lot 2 has an existing residential use established. The topography and vegetation and riparian area, the terrain characteristics for this site are moderate level with some more gentle sloped areas. Vegetation is typical timber, grass, and bushes. The subject parent parcel is bordered by the St. Joe River and associated riparian area. The riparian boundary is subject to change due to the accretion and avulsion over time. It's the movement of the river. Comprehensive plan designation in this area designates this area as South Shoshone District. This district is rural in nature and may not have the same pressures for development as other areas in the county. Meets all those requirements for that particular comprehensive plan. Area of city impact, this area is not within any of the ACI, so no cities were contacted. Water supply and wastewater disposal, lots 1 and 3 do not have water access. Lot 2 is serviced by a private well system. The water source for all lots will be stated on the plat, and they will be either shared wells or individual wells. Wastewater, lots 1 and 3 are dry camping areas with no septic system proposed. Lot 2 is served by an existing approved individual septic domestic wastewater system. And there's some conditions that are later in the report. Access-wise, Lot 1 does not have established access. Lots 2 and 3 will utilize 2 existing driveways off the St. Joe River Road. On September 28th, Stephanie Featherstone of the Department of Public Works indicated that they have no concerns. However, an approach permit for Lot 1 will be needed in the future if they desire to access directly from that lot. They can always choose to do a shared driveway as well. The fire district, the site is located within the Calder-Avery Fire District. And I should note on there, in conjunction with St. Mary's Fire, usually responds out in that area. On October 12, 23, Don Haney with the fire district indicated by phone that they do not have, that they have no problem with access to the site. As part of our staff report, this area is not within the Bunker Hill Overlay District, so no requirements or conditions there. Stormwater, currently there's no site disturbance or developments proposed or required for this application, therefore no permits are required at this time. Site disturbance permits will be required prior to the start of any future development. Under design standards, the proposed subdivision will conform to design standards of the surrounding area, including those outlined in section 10.3.1 of the Shoshone County Code, which they do. Regulatory floodplain designation, a portion of the proposed parcel is located within the special flood hazard area. A regulatory floodplain is designated by the adopted FEMA firm flood insurance rate maps. We'll see firm panel 16079C0800D. The applicant will be required to place a floodplain notice upon the face of the plat, and that's listed in the conditions. There's a standard statement we have people put on plats. As of the writing of this report, Planning Department has received no public comments. The applicable legal standards in this case are Idaho Code 50, 1301, and 1333, plats under 67, 6521, actions affected by persons 67-6535, approval and denial requirements 67-2343, notice of meetings. We're also bound by the county comprehensive plan, the county Title 10 subdivision regulations, Title 9 zoning regulations, and the floodplain overlay district regulations under Title 9-7. We do a staff analysis based on the review of the submitted application, discussions with the applicant, agency responses, and any public comment. Staff finds that all the requirements for this application and procedures have been met. Here we put a recommended conditions of approval. They can be amended or changed or removed by you, pending testimony or reasoning why. But they're pretty standard fare where development shall be subject to other applicable rules in the state. Just because they're not listed here in the conditions doesn't mean they don't apply. Any further development or substantive changes shall come before the Shoshone County Planning Department and or back in front of you for substantive changes. The terms and conditions placed on this approval shall run with the land and remain valid upon change of ownership or until the approval expires. A plat approval by Idaho Code expires after 2 years. So if they don't finish the setting of markers and get it recorded after approval. The applicant or future assignants having interest in the subject property shall fully comply with the conditions placed on this approval. Approval is based on the information, project application, plans, and testimony provided as part of the request, and the approval is limited to that. Applicant shall meet the requirements of the final plat based on our code of 10-5-4. The applicant shall place this note. 505 is the FEMA note, and that's been proposed on the plat. And all it does is identify that this property is within that floodplain for future property owners to know. This states that 506, approval shall expire 24 months after the signing of the order of decision. That normally never happens, but it can. And then under the 507, the applicant shall meet the requirements by putting special notes on the plat for the sanitary restrictions, because lots 1 and 3 are not having their restrictions lifted, but lot 2 already currently has one. Then they will, the restriction won't necessarily be lifted, but they'll sign off that it has been lifted. And that special note is required on the plat. And that's it for conditions. From there, we put in a draft conclusions of law. You can go through those conclusions, and obviously if you find any affirmative on those, then all is well. If you just determine that it does not, then we have to determine why, and then you use that as your reasoning for proceeding. So we put a little note in there too for the proceedings to help you, guide you along during this process, and then we put in a draft recommended motion for approval with the proposed conditions. You can approve it with additional conditions if you see fit. If we were to deny it, it would have for the following reasons, or if you're going to continue it, you'd want for further information. And that's pretty straightforward.
Questions from
Snickers
the
down
board?
on the river. Yeah. Dividing it up.
Now, this was a home, and then it's got one residence, and then the other two are going to be camping. Is that what?
Correct.
Okay.
My question is just for my own information. How did they divide up 20.81 acres, but when we add up all these three pieces, it only comes up to 20.54 acres? Did we take a 10% for the county? Or?
Is your do you have a?
Sometimes that depends on what
Which page?
when the
Or did I not correctly identify?
So
sometimes there's a discrepancy on what the assessors are assessing it as, and that's probably where that initial number came from versus what their legal deeds
This is
describe.
surveyed on the ground acreage versus, the record, what it was calculated whenever it became a parcel in and of itself.
And so when he goes out and marks a point or marks the edge of the river, that may be different than what the assessors are assessing it at. And certainly if we're within a few points, that's negligible.
Well, 2/10 of an acre. I just wondered where it's,
We certainly never intend to take property from anybody.
Thought we were getting a percentage. Sorry, guys.
We're going to go by the legal deed, and the legal plat is what's going to be the guiding light.
I
And probably when this is recorded, then that number will change aggregately across the three properties.
Okay. That was my primary
Good catch.
question. So in case it appeared, I was just sitting here stunned by all of this that I was actually listening to. Well done. Presentation was clear. Do you have any questions at all?
No.
Do you have any rebuttal to the lack of questions? All right. And we didn't have anybody to speak. So at this point, I think we'd entertain a motion to come out of public hearing.
So
Real quick, ask the applicants if they have anything to add, which I'm assuming they don't.
Well, yeah, since they didn't sign up, I didn't know, but yeah. Okay.
Just as a formality.
So moved.
Seconded. Roll call.
Commissioner Ghost?
Yes.
Commissioner Goodwin?
Here.
Okay. Having heard everything, are you prepared to make a motion, Mr. Commissioner?
Do we need to
You want to read through the draft conclusions on section 6?
Do we need to read that into the record
Yes.
as a part of our motion, or is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll read that. Draft conclusions. Seeing that the comprehensive plan, the proposal does conform with the goals, objectives contained in the plan, that the proposal does conform to the standards contained in Title 10 Subdivision Regulations for Shoshone County, that the proposal is consistent with the purpose and intent of the existing zoning, that the proposal is, proposed use is compatible with the existing uses in the area, and the proposed use is not detrimental to public health, safety, or well-being. I would entertain a motion that we adopt something like the recommended motion that he's got right here.
Okay, based on the findings and facts conclusion, I'll do a motion based on findings of fact and conclusions of law set forth in these documents and any additional testimony received. The Shoshone County Board of Commissioners ordered this application for a minor subdivision, case number MS 162-23, Wolf Brandon Vold, minor subdivision, to be approved with proposed conditions.
Okay. I'll second that. Is there any discussion?
No.
Mr. Martinson, is that clear enough for the record?
Perfect.
For what you
Thank
need?
you very much.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is approved with proposed conditions. And with that, we are adjourned.